or Facebook and you're not part of the Tiny Boat Nation, you're doing it wrong. Come get feedback from boat builders all across the nation and all across the world, from different skill sets, different build styles, everything. Come check us out, post your build, show it off. Thank you.
What's going on YouTube? This is Mike from TV Nation, and today I finally have a few updates to give you. My first update that I'm going to give you obviously is my framing specifics on that Valco. The last time you guys saw it, I was ripping apart the trans. I've been trying to restructure that, and I still have to rip it apart again to realign it now that I've put the rest of the framing in, so it'll all work together. Pretty happy with the end result of the bottom end for this framing as far as what's been done so far. I think it's far enough along to give you guys a little sneak peek at what's going to come, and then I'll kind of cover into what I plan on doing for the rest of the summer, because it's stupidly hot out here, and I got to go a different direction. I can't just be building all summer like I built for the rest of this year. But check this out right now. Check this out. All right, guys, check this thing out. This is really the hype, the peak of what I can possibly do with non-welded aluminum framing. I can't see myself surpassing this much more without getting a welder, so that's probably gonna be my next step. But until then, check this thing out. Unlike before, when I generally just start with the core, I've started with the core for almost every build out there. I started with the back first because I framed in a tough box. So people in TV Nation have been running this mod for a minute, and it's a HDPE tough box that you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot. This is a 17 gal, and we foamed it in for support, and I'm gonna end up running another piece of wood, and then obviously angle it in and run it for added support. So there's essentially no way it's gonna bow out, and then it's also not gonna fill very high. It's probably gonna fill about halfway, but even then you could stick a lot of fish, probably about 10 gallons of water in there, and it'll hold quite a bit of fish. It's pretty generous. Matt's been using his extensively, and there's just very minimal problems with it at all. I mean, we're still running through some testing. He uses it a lot. He uses that thing, so one that's not cut or not welded at all, it should give you essentially no problems. This will be the rod locker, and it's almost about as big as my left locker on my boat, which stores a ton of rods. But we're going to run tubing specific for his boat because he has very specific rods he wants taken care of, greatly. So probably about a 10 rod stow here. The interface for the tubes will go here, and they're going to run underneath all through this. That's the main reason I ran a shallow stow here and not another day box. It was because the tubes are going to run through here. But the shallow stow also offers a lot of stuff the day box can't. It offers immediate access to stuff you need right away, pliers, certain baits you don't want to be rummaging through a big day box like that. It's a very, very generous day box. It's bigger than any of mine, and so these are accommodated like this because the hatches are going to sit right on these, just like how I did my boat. I essentially did the same thing here in the day boxes. My hatches essentially sit right on the day boxes, but these are small compared to those. These are fairly generous. My foot pedal, that's how we're doing I just framed it right into it. There's no reason to make an external one and then stick it in there. I think it's stupid. Just frame it in there. It's not hard. It's really just a series of crossbars underneath. If you follow me on Patreon, you more or less watched how I did that. This is my Gen 3.1 core system, guys. I'm pretty happy about this. This is really the backbone. Even though this wasn't the first thing that went in the boat, this is really the backbone of my system. Very, very generous porting. This is a redwood aluminum hybrid porting. I figured out this way of framing right at the end of my boat as I was messing around and did a bunch of other dumb stuff with my boat, that I wish I could undo, but I'd gone too far. But I was able to kit my back like this on my boat, and I'm pretty happy. And I paid it forward with Matt's boat. He was really, that was the beginning of my Gen 3 systems, and this is a 3.1 system because unlike Matt's that ran mostly redwood, this one is running mostly aluminum with some redwood, versus his. Neither are really better. In fact, Matt's is probably a lot lighter, but this one is definitely robust. It's much more robust, and so the owner who lives quite far away from me is gonna have secure this frame is gonna last him for a minute. I don't foresee any frame failures at all. I ran a lip all up and down, and that allowed me to attach everything in such a way that I have been able to do, and it's going to allow me to really frame all the joiners and all the decking the way I normally do it is a huge enabling thing. This lip, I've struggled with making a lip that would work for these V-holes, and I finally just did it. So angled aluminum is the key as long as you slot and drill it the right way. My terminal stove for the anchors, all the wet stuff, mooring lines, buoys, whatever, all in there, and the hatch will kind of open up to compensate for the cord from this bow mount. Got a crossbar here for the helm. I'm not gonna really get too big on the helm until I run wires and know what I'm doing. It's not low on my priority list, but it's just not quite there. This is my day box, pretty generous, and it's framed into the aluminum. There's a lot of flat bar overlay, like I told you in my boat framing Q&A vid, where you have to compensate for the overlay of non-welded framing because you're riveting it together. See how big that gap is? We obviously have to compensate for that overlay so I can have a flush hatch, and so this is where the overlay sits. Overlay, T-framed overlay. Yep. This is my deep stow. It'll stow folded nets, two-piece rods, foldable oars, all the long, oblong, weird stuff that he's going to need in here. This section is completely cut out. I know you can't really tell, but it's all going to be for the electronics, and it's just something I didn't do in my boat that I'm going to pay for it in his. You just need your own generous spot for the electronics, so you can make sure they're going to be well taken care of and easily accessible. Another another shallow stow back here with a bunch of foam underneath it. And that'll just be because you need a lot of reserve buoyancy in the back. The back is going to hold the most weight. It's going to hold the live well. It's going to hold the gas tank back here. It's going to hold the outboard. So I mean, you need some foam back here, and there's just going to be a ton of foam crammed up in there, everywhere, every little gap, foam everywhere, foam all underneath there, man. And then one of the rod tubes are here, foam underneath those rod tubes like a honeycomb, kind of like how I did my tracker. And I'm going to do the same thing back here on the butt ends, because this section is going to come out here. It's going to hold the rod butts, because I mean, so these swim bait rods have huge butt ends, so it's going to be pretty generous and to hold those. It's going to accommodate 9-foot rods. That's what this guy wants. That's what he's going to get. And so pretty cool build, not bad for my number 10 build. Hey guys, so let me know what you thought about that. That was my generation 3.1 system. It's really kind of at the height of what I think I can do with non-welded aluminum framing at this point in time. It's pretty up there. It's, I don't know, it's something else. I mean, I think my generation 4 system would have to be welded to beat this system. The reason I'm kind of deterred from getting welders is because I feel it might start detaching me from my audience. I'm really not trying to put myself out there as somebody who does this for a business, because I don't. I'm not an experienced fabricator or welder or, you know, a builder. I'm just kind of a normal, you know, mainstream person who just doesn't want to buy a bass boat and get into an 8-10 year loan for a boat that I could afford, but like don't want to really stress out with all the payments, only use it moderately, and then, you know, be stuck with all the problems that it has after, you know, the warranty ends. I feel most people don't want that. I feel the majority of the fishing population don't want that, and the big boat companies really target a smidge of the actual fishing population. They target the really independently wealthy, and they target like the professional anglers. That's really not a whole lot of us out there. Most of us out there are Googans who can really only fish on the weekends or the holidays, you know, once a month, whatever. So that's kind of how that is. That being said, you know, I kind of need input. Let me know if this whole framing thing was a little bit too out of grasp for my viewers and stuff. Let me know if you want something else specific, something more simple. You know, I'm trying to get a hold of a few boats here and not make them too advanced, like make them a little bit more doable. For somebody who's kind of, you know, averaging on. And I do have like 9 other builds on my channel, if you guys like what you've seen. So I mean, and a lot of them are just straight like complete wooden decks, complete wooden framing, everything. For my patrons, people who follow me on patreon.com, my first build specific video for this thing from the ground up is out, and so I'm hoping you guys are taking advantage of that and checking it out. Please expect a new one about how I did the day boxes in the shallow stow in specific. I'm going to be releasing that one here within the week, and that's like a step-by-step process of me actually building it. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be able to pay forward to my patrons on Patreon, because you guys are in turn enabling me to continue to grow and sustain content on my channel without it imploding. I really appreciate all your contributions, everything you guys do. All my followers and all my subscribers, I'm really, really grateful for all of you. Thank you very much for for following me and you know, helping me get to this level. It really is you guys that have inspired me to continuously build and build and build all these things. You know, to sponsor other people, to form a pack of these tiny boaters, and kind of just really start this new trend, and just to find out just how many people, you know, like us, or just around the nation, and even in different parts of the world, out of the UK, out of Australia, you know, in so many different places. It's pretty cool. Stay tuned for build specifics on my 16-footer. Haven't released it because it's still in testing. I don't know if it's just because it's my boat or because I use it all the time. I'm just not happy with it. I mean, you see me fishing on it all the time. I swear, I'm not done with it. I have to it has to be better before it hits YouTube. Before it really gets demoed off. It's got to be something else. It's got to really bring it. Okay, guys. And then just stay tuned for some other Q&A vids. My next video is probably going to be how much does it cost to build one of these boats the way I do it, from low end to high end. I'm going to cover everything so you guys have a very, very accurate picture of what it's probably going to cost you if you're looking to start out and doing this, or if you're looking to refabricate when you've already done, or upgrade or whatever. Just wait for it, check it out. That's coming soon. Thank you guys for everything. Peace.